Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, and I've been with them for a long time. BetterHelp is an online platform where we found that you can effectively communicate with your therapist. Now, you begin by filling out a questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And if that match isn't ideal for you, you can certainly make an adjustment there. Now, you're going to be encouraged to journal, and also they have the availability for group therapy on a wide array of topics, and I really like that. So as the need exists, go ahead and take the necessary steps to get the help that you need. And just know that BetterHelp has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so it indeed is a platform you can trust. There's a link below the video that will take you there. There's a common theme that you can experience when you've been with a narcissist for a significant period of time, and that is you can get along with them pretty well. In fact, in some cases, you can get along with them swimmingly well. Others, it's like, well, I know there's a little something there that's a bit off, but it's manageable. But then something can happen, some sort of tension comes between you and that person, and all of a sudden, you're going to be on their bad list. And something has happened, you've said something, you've done the wrong thing, or that person's just in a bad mood, and boom, the narcissist turns on you with a great deal of vitriol and venom. And I have heard so many stories related to this. Now, it could be that you've had let's say a strained relationship with a brother or sister, but you've gotten along okay, but then something happens at a key time in your life, and that narcissistic sibling can just come on at you with lots of harshness. I was always distrusting of you, and they can be very mean in the way they do it. It can be at work. You may be on that person's good list for a while, but then I've heard so many people come back and say, I don't know what I did or how it happened, but I'm now on that person's bad list, and it's ugly, and they're not making the work setting very nice at all. I've had so many individuals who will say, well, I revealed that I don't think the same as them, as that, let's say a friend. And when I did, that person just went off on me and told me how stupid I was, and got on social media and ripped into me and on my social media sites, etc., and so on. It's disillusioning when you realize that, well, I thought that we had a relationship that was at least manageable, in some cases quite good, but something happened and that narcissist couldn't sustain it, and it went ugly, and it went ugly fast, and in many cases it's irretrievable. What we can see here is this is a classic case of what we call narcissistic collapse. These individuals live with a carefully crafted image, and they can keep it up for a period of time, but they can only keep the facade up for so long. They can try as best they can to present themselves as a decent person, but in the end, you're left wondering, well, despite all that decency or reasonableness that I thought might have been there, where did all this bitterness come from? And what's going on? And it's really interesting when you have had that experience where the narcissist has turned on you in a really harsh way. You can look back and see some red flags that may have already been there, but now they're magnified. For example, in retrospect, you might realize, well, that person was never 100% comfortable with personal disclosures. Or as I look back on the disclosures that they wanted you to think was personal, it was really just them complaining about somebody else. Or it could be that you look back and you think that person was a pretty strongly critical individual, not towards you necessarily, but towards other individuals. And finally, it came your turn in line, and it came towards you. And then, of course, you can look back and say, yeah, they were hypersensitive to any hint of disagreement or criticism that they might interpret towards them. And then you look back and you think, you know what? I don't think I'm the first person this has happened to. That narcissistic individual, as you examine what's been going on there, it's like, yeah, they've had other relationships where the same thing happened with them. Or as you look back, you can think, before the collapse, I could tell there was a certain stubbornness, a need to control that person has, whether it would be in being a little too micromanaging at times, or it could be that they were passive aggressive and they just weren't going to comply when things didn't go their way. But then when a narcissist collapses on you and comes at you in a very rejecting kind of way, it puts their phoniness into focus. You might think, so when you were laughing with me, was that just fleeting or fake? Or when you were helpful, was that just you keeping score and you were trying to get points with me or with somebody else? Or when you said nice things about me, were you just buttering me up? Or what were you saying about me behind my back? And it begins to call into question so many things of that nature. And then as that narcissist turns on you and comes at you in a harsh and vengeful kind of way, it makes you realize this person's been sitting on a lot of anger. I'm seeing it right now in full force. But in retrospect, there must have been a lot going on that caused them to have to carry frustration and annoyance and irritability. And finally, they couldn't carry it long enough. And many times, as you look back, you can see, maybe they were associating me with other people that disappointed them, and they were just ready to explode. In other words, there tends to be reasons for them doing that are extraneous to you. Now, the sad thing is, as narcissists go into this collapse and they turn on you, then they're going to do all sorts of things that are going to be pretty ugly, frankly. As an example, they can go back and then reinterpret to you or to other people your good qualities. Oh, you tried to make everybody think that you were a nice person, but I know better now. And so they can be very harsh in their reinvention or characterization of who you are. Or they can try to force you into arguments. They can give you accusations like you're stupid or you think you're all that, or you want everybody to think that you're a whole lot better than you are, but I've learned differently. And they want to goad you with those kind of insults, because then when you come back with some sort of harsh response, they can see right there. That's what nobody else sees but me. I get it. And so they can play the gotcha game. It could be that as this comes out, they start going into a smear campaign. Other people are going to notice, and so they try to take the first strike by getting to other individuals and saying, "Well, you're going to find out that this person and I are on the outs, and that person's awful," and they can do that kind of number. They can threaten you. Well, I'm just going to tell everybody what I know, and they'll try to expose you, or they'll want to bring you down. Now, all of this can bring you into this state of confusion or disillusionment, like I say, or disbelief. And you can think, how did this happen? Why is it that if I try to be a nice person, why is it that doesn't seem to count? You're going to want to defend yourself. And you can come back toward that narcissistic individual and you can think, well, I've got to explain to you why you're wrong and I'm right. You can try to plead your case and justify. You didn't understand this correctly, or you put a wrong interpretation there. You might try to point out to that narcissist their inconsistencies. Hey, look, if you're coming down on my case, it's not as though you're the easiest person to get along with. Let me give you some examples. You can try to do that. You can try to point out their illogic. And once that narcissist has turned, once they've shown their colors, it all just goes up in the air. They don't care. Now, when the narcissist turns on you like this, again, they illustrate they're a little more than image crafters. What they're basically implying is, I want you to forget my moments of friendliness. I want you to forget my moments of support. From now on, you're on my enemies list. When that happens, there are three words that I'm hoping you can hold on to and cling to, because it has a great deal of implication. Those three words are, so be it. So when in other words, you're going to need to release yourself from the narcissist's terrible attitudes as you realize, I'm not going to say anything that's going to make it any different. And so you may think to yourself, well, okay, I see that narcissist as phony. That narcissist sees me as phony. We're at a standoff. So be it. Or you look to the narcissist and you can think, now I realize you've been sitting on that anger and you've been storing up all sorts of resentments, some related to me, some are a carryover from other relationships. So be it. You've declared yourself to be the victim, even as you come at me with as much offensiveness as possible. Somehow you wind up being the victim, and you want everybody to believe that about you. So be it. You've negated my good traits. You've negated my good actions, and you've put a very different interpretation on all of that now. So be it. You refuse to acknowledge your own negative contributions to whatever it is you're frustrated about now. At some point, I'm just going to say, so be it. You will shame me. You're going to try to ridicule me behind my back and try to make other people agree with you in your wrong assessment of me. So be it. You won't recognize how this very pattern that you have going on with me has happened with other individuals involved, and the central character in those stories is you. You seem to have this pattern that comes back over and over, and now I see that it's my turn. You know what? So be it. You truly think of yourself as better than me. You think that just because you've seen some of my flaws or humanities, that gives you the permission to lord yourself over me. So be it. Your anger is apparently, in your mind, caused by me. I know better, but that's what you think, and you want everybody else to think that way. Even there, so be it. What we're going to say is a narcissist is a ticking time bomb. And when you're around them, you can do your best to bring healthy characteristics to the equation. And for a while, maybe they can dance with you a bit, but they can't sustain it. That's their selfishness, their need for control, their entitlement is so strong. Acknowledge the legitimacy of your feelings when they turn on you, because it's reasonable for you to feel disillusioned and hurt and all the rest. Set your boundaries as you decide, I'm going to be the best version of myself, and if they want to join me, that would be wonderful. And if not, I need to go ahead and lean into my priorities and initiatives anyway. And then we're going to accept the truth, and that is narcissists are too weak to take responsibility for themselves. They must have a fall guy, so to speak, and that fall guy is you. So be it. These individuals are emotional weaklings. They don't know how to manage complexity well. That's where they are. But in the meantime, we're going to say, so be it to you. I want you to be who you are and take delight in it. And when the narcissist says, well, I can't deal with that, it's like, well, that's your loss. It's not mine. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to continue leaning into dignity and respect and civility. That's what I stand for. That's what I anchor my life in. Now, I hope that videos like this can give you some good awareness of what you're dealing with. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. In addition, you know that I'm very committed to psychotherapy as a means of dealing with something like this. Obviously, I spent 40 plus years as a therapist and heard all sorts of stories. When the need is there and you're dealing with something of this nature, and it's hard to extricate yourself from it, get the help that you would need. We have a sponsor, the folks at BetterHelp.com. There's a link below if you want to have an online service that can assist you with that. It can be effective, and I'm hoping you would be able to find somebody that could help you sift this out. Get the help that you would need. Now, in addition to that, I invite you to go to my website. We have lots of resources on there. This is another alternative. I have my courses. They're very extensive, and it would take some time, and you can do it in your own pace to go through each one of them. They each have at least 25 teaching videos, a little shorter than my videos here. With handouts and guided questions. We have anger games about managing anger properly. This is me about establishing those boundaries, free to be, finding yourself despite their efforts to control you, and then Ready, Set, Connect about having healthy connections. We also have my 90-minute PowerPoint presentations along with hundreds of articles, my books, etc. We have lots of resources. It's sad to say, so be it. But what you're saying is I'm releasing you. I don't have any kind of illusion that I'm going to make you think differently or make you feel differently. You are what you are. I get it. Like it or not, I accept the truth of it. That's what we're going with. And in doing so, I'm hoping it releases you then to say, now I'm going to put my energies into me being steady and reliable and composed in my emotions, because I want to be that person of peace that they can't join you with. But that's who I want to be. I want to be someone that lives inside true peace.